Hello there, guys, and welcome back to Reborn with Michael Watson. Today, I want to talk about revision, Neville Goddard's most wonderful, brilliant technique. I want to talk about what it actually does, why it works, and today we're going to go straight into it. If you like Spirituality Simplified, please consider like, sharing, and subscribing. So, I am going to tell you that revision is the most powerful, brilliant technique, and I've used it several occasions. Now, the one thing that I would say is don't feel like you have to use it all the time. But if you are suffering through a problem at the moment, revision is a great way to overcome the challenge. I've used it to save my relationship. I've used it to manifest wonderful outcomes. I want to tell you about it. I also will then tell you about some of the techniques that I use that literally revise as you go along throughout the day. So let's break down what revision is. Well, Neville Goddard explains it as you're going to sleep, you look back at the situation and you start to see it in a different light. You start to see the vision of that experience and you see it going in your favor, or you can see it. So for example, let's say that you got let's say you are trying to manifest back your relationship or something like that. And you're just noticing you've had this big argument. Both of you have said it's done. You haven't spoken again since. It's been a couple of days that you've not spoken. Every night before you go to bed, you want to relax, breathe, let go of that pain and start to see yourselves coming together. See yourself, change the story in your mind of that experience and change it from happening to be an argument to happening for it to being love. Now, why do I like revision? Now, a lot of people think you're going to do revision to change the past. Nothing you do is going to change the past. What revision is actually going to do is going to change the way that you're expressing your energy now into the future. You see, because the pain that you've got from that past experience, you're holding on to. So it keeps expressing. It keeps that moment as a real hardened fact, whether it's a breakup in a relationship or there's been some money trouble, you've lost money on something. You revise it in your mind, not because you're going to change the situation, but you're going to change the future expression. See, if there is no energetic resistance to what has been because you've changed the way that you experienced it in your mind. So now your mind believes that the situation that you've been through was actually a very positive one. You're going to walk forward with that positive expression of life. You're going to walk forward into that positive expression of life. And that's the most wonderful part about this, is you are moving forward gently into that expression of life. And the gentleness of it is that all is well. All is good. And this is why when I am in my own life every day, I notice my reactions to life and I notice my feelings and I breathe and let it go. And then I correct the situation in real time. So I'm always revising what's happened in real time when there's a problem. And your emotions are going to show you that. You see, the thing of revision is actually helping you to change your emotional standpoint. You know, Neville Goddard is such a wonderful teacher, but it does come to these ideas of Abraham Hicks really as well. And not that I've been listening to her lectures recently, but I was an Abraham Hicks guy a long time ago. And it does come that you get what your energy is expressing. So to revise, you change your energetic expression towards that situation because your mind, as a physical thing, doesn't know whether you've experienced it for real or not. When you're visualizing, it accepts it as real. Because why does the mind accept it as real? Because the only way you're experiencing this world is inside of yourself anyway. So when you revise something, when you go back to something and you start to see it in a more favorable manner, you change the way that you express that your energy field is happening inside. Now you're at ease. Now you don't have the tension of the relationship being bad. Now you don't have the tension of losing that money. Now you don't have the tension and resistance towards those things. So now you can move forward freely. And then from there, if you have started to imagine that you've got a large sum of money instead of losing it, or that money's come back to you multiplied, now it can. So I'm going to tell you a few ways that I've used revision that really worked for me. One of the ways was I was renting a place and it wasn't quite right. It felt beautiful and I paid a year up front for it to make sure that we secured it. I mean, hey, I wouldn't recommend doing that if you can help it. But I paid the year up front. After 6 months, the neighbour became aggressive and wanted to fight and do all these things in front of my children. So I don't look back and say, why did I manifest that? Because I think actually it was for the greatest good. I was meant to move from that place. But anyway, what happened was the landlord kept the final 6 months, and he's also has been funny about the deposit and all things. I had a chance to take him to court and win. I decided to go against that. And what I did is I revised the situation in my mind. And I revised that money coming back to me, multiplied in divine law and order. And I started to see it. Well, I'm telling you, it has come back to me multiplied through other channels, and I wish him all the blessings of life, and I held no resistance towards him, because in my mind I've changed it as a wonderful exchange that has a divine solution. And when it comes to the deposit now, which we're just dealing with now, I know, and I revise it, that he is now, instead of fighting, he is very open and pleasant and giving. And now, however the truth of that needs to express, it will. And that's what revision does. It helps you to express in the future at your highest level. So what I would say is, you go to bed at night, you close your eyes, and you sit and you let go of any fear by observing it. Once that happens, start to visualize the past situation to change your future. You're changing the past, but you're not actually changing the past. You're just changing the way that you experience the past. And now the future will change. That's revision in a nutshell. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.